Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to day 27, episode 27, and page 25 of Journal in January. Now today's page is Goodbye Hotel, and the photo that we're going to use is a photo of the hotel. It's a great photo that my husband took, and it's going to make a great memory for us to add in our book. For us, when we're showing off, I can say to anybody looking at my journal, that's where we stayed, that was the hotel. And that way, that brings the memories flooding back. We're also going to use a couple of techniques that are going to make the page just not a mixed media page, but we're going to add loose embellishments. You'll see what I mean. We're going to use lots of stamping, tags, things that we've made, tickets. Now these could have been tickets that we've collected while you've been on a trip. Mine are stamped. I've added lots of detail to them. I've added words that how it made me feel, unforgettable, inspire, and it was just, there's a stamp here and it says the journey is the destination, different things, and then finally one that says limited edition created by Anne-Marie. Now we're going to use all these little bits and pieces that I've created on this double page spread, and I think we're dipping our toe into mixed media with this one only for the additions that we're adding, and we're going to use a couple of techniques that we've used previously. Now obviously we back our pages. We're at that stage where all our pages are going to have backing on them. I'm using some Anna Griffin paper from the French collection from quite a while ago. Everything I do use will be listed on my blog. Every episode that we go through will have details of the items used, even if they're not available now, for the simple reason that you might think, you know what, I've got something in my crafty stash that's quite like that, I'll use that instead. And that's what journaling's all about. It's using what you've got, making your memory, because I don't think you're going to go make a journal like mine. Yours is going to be to your own cup of tea, as it were. So you're going to add your own knickknacks. But I can tell you what I've used to give you an idea, and then that's when you think, oh, you know what, I've got some stamps like this, or stamps like that, or rub-ons, things like that that we might not have mentioned so far, but we are going to use as we go on. So it's just kind of like inspiring. And I always forget to kind of like sell myself. Please share any of my videos with your crafty friends or in your crafty forums, etc. Please tell them about the Journal in January series. It's great for beginners and advanced alike. It starts off nice and gentle, where we do basic pages and then we build up into magnificent journaling pages. So please, bear that in mind and give it a like. I always forget that bit as well. I'm too busy saying, oh, we're using this and we're using that. I forget me. Okay, so I've shown you the photo that we're going to use, picture of the Grand Hyatt. Now, we're going to start with this page here, and I've got some vellum, so we're going to start incorporating just maybe different materials. So this is vellum. I've torn it and I've got tape through the centre. Yes, you can see the tape, don't worry, we're going to cover that over, and I'm just going to stick that in the middle of my page. Now over that I've torn a piece of paper in the opposite design, so it's the same design but the opposite colour. So one's pink, one's green, we're going with the pink, and I've torn it so that it just covers the centre of the page where the tape is. So we cover over that like that. There we go. So now you can't see the tape. Next, I've made, using the Anna Griffin Paper Tricks 2, I've made 6 mini envelopes. I've used the double-sided cardstock from Anna Griffin, and it's the double-sided cardstock that it's something, patterns for your cricket machine or something like that. I don't have a cricket, but I've got the cardstock because it's very handy. So I've made 6 little mini envelopes, all double-sided, so you get both sides of the cardstock. I've stuck them up on 3 sides to make them look like a mini envelope. I've got flat tape on the back of them, and I'm simply going to add them to our page. Now I'm not going to firmly stick them down yet, just in case I need to move them and tweak them. And I'm thinking one underneath, go for the spotty one. So you can see how our journaling has kind of taken a turn now to the highly embellished, and we're adding more details and more patterns and lots of different components just to kind of show off our adventure, because that's exactly what it was. It was a total adventure, and we want to remember it. And then when people come and I say, oh, I've got my photos, do you want to see them? They're not going to go, oh, yeah, all right then. They're going to go, oh, yeah, great. Because you're going to say, I've put them in a journal, I've made something, so they know it's not going to be boring. So that's our 6 envelopes. Now I think they're roughly in the right place. So I'm going to press them down, and then, now I showed you the stamping that I'd done. I cut all these out of cardstock, and I used the Tim Holtz Alterations ticket dies to cut them out. I've got some that are just stamped, some that have got inspirational words on, and all I'm going to do is add them into the mini envelopes. I'm kind of dividing them out so that there's different colours in different envelopes, so that they will just sit there, and whoever looks at the album can lift them out. I've put little tab tops on them, and I've actually stamped those, and it was a stamp from the Anna Griffin floral tags and embellishment stamps, and these can just all sit in the little envelopes. Now if you want, you can actually glue them in. I'm going to leave mine loose because I think my friends will probably want to look at them all. So that is how mine are going to sit. And I just think that looks so great, with all those loose little bits that people can look at and read. Now for the page across opposite, I've got the photo that I'm going to add, and we're going to use a technique with a few mementos, or well, it's the room key actually. So I'm going to add the room key, but I'm going to add the photo nearly to the top of the page, roughly to there. So what I've done is I've taken 2 of the Heidi Swap page protectors, and these were the smaller ones from the pack. You got the 2 that are together, or the larger one. I've stamped them using permanent black ink. One says remember moments, and the other says moments all of a second, but the memory lives, a moment lasts all of a second, but the memory lives on forever. And I've just made 3 simple tags, just of feelings of how it was. Laughter is the best medicine, and experience the act of living through an event. And that's what I did. So these are just in the Heidi Swap page protectors. And then in the other one, it just says remember moments, and it's just a photocopy of the room key. So I've got double-sided tape actually on the protectors, and I'm simply going to add the key just to the bottom of the photo, and then the tags just at the side of the key, like so. So they can be both seen, but they're both underneath, like that. And then to cover up the tape on the actual side, I've taken 2 pieces of the same paper that we've used, and it says until next time and we meet again, and the second one says take a moment to remember how it felt. So one of them I'm simply going to stick over the top of where the tape is on the side of where the room key is, and then the second one I'm going to add over the tape where the tags are. I did run these through the Xyron machine. There we go, and that covers that nicely. And then to finish, I've made my own little embellishments using 2 layers of cardstock, and then using glossy accents to make kind of like a button for my page. So I can use that over the photo at the corners, or I could use it at the bottom of the envelopes. That would look great. So I think I'll use the third one. I think I'll use it there. I think that looks great there. So those are our handmade embellishments for our page, and that just finishes it perfectly. And I think now, because it might look a lot, it might look a little crazy that we've added all these, but they sum up how I felt. And after all, I know I'm sharing this, after all, this is what I'm going to be showing my friends and saying, oh look, this is from when we went to Atlanta, I've made this, as you do. So it's kind of like, it's me expressing myself. And it does look crazy, but I'm using things that I like using and things I want to use. And I think that's how it should be for you as well. You'll have favourite things that you want to incorporate. Give it a go. So I do hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope this has given you some ideas with the little tags and tabs and different things. And you know how we added the page protectors previously, and now we've stepped it up a little bit, adding the more details of the writing, the journaling, and it just looks fab. So I want to say thank you so much for sticking with me. If you've watched, you know, every day so far, good on you. If you haven't and you're just dipping in and out, that's great. You know, there's more to come. So I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you tomorrow.